All the way from the start, I can feel it in my heart, like all the way from the start. Hey, what's going on out there? I'm Sean Devine. Today I have a quick tutorial for y'all. This one is by request. Happy New Year, by the way. Hope y'all are doing great and you're gearing up for a big 2017 with your music and otherwise. But this one is about how to fly a hook or duplicate a hook from, say, the first part of your arrangement to after the second verse and then after the third verse and so on, as many times as you need to, and make sure that the timing is correct, like spot on, absolutely accurate to the grid. A few of you have had some problems flying your hook over and then having, a different timing or whatever happen. So I'm going to show you a few things to do initially to make sure that we're going to be able to fly the hook and have everything be accurate. So the first step is to go up here to your tempo in your session, and before you record or before you start moving any tracks in the session or whatever, lock in the tempo. So if you're mixing, if you get the tracks in your session, make sure and lock it to whatever the tempo of the production is. So most of the time I get tracks from producers and they list the BPM on there. If I don't, I'll just use tap tempo on my keyboard, find the tempo exactly, and put that in before I start doing any chopping or any kind of arranging or anything like that. So once you've done that, if you want to double check to make sure that you got the right tempo and that everything is locked to the grid in terms of your audio tracks, hit your click and go towards the end of the instrumental. You don't want to necessarily just base it off of the beginning, because if you're slightly off, by the time you get to the end of the track, that's when you're going to notice the timing has slid quite off there. So if I put the click on and then we go over here in this section. So even at 3:10, 3:11 into the song, in the outro, that click is still playing to tempo. So that's good. Tempo is correct. Now, let me go ahead and I'm going to play the hook for you real quick, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to slide this hook as it was received. He actually placed it for me, but I'm going to show you just by example. We'll slide this over after the second verse. So let me just play back a little bit from the verse here.
In the booth with a lot of vision, reducing enthusiasm, reducing these loony tunes and giving these dudes the pep and the pure influence with love stings. It's just a season I'm going through, yeah.
You go ahead and try to take me out, but this wind won't never take me out. It's cold up in this winter. I feel like the seasons don't change, yeah. 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 Whoa.
I'm feeling fickle.
All right, so the track is by Jonathan Long and Wonder. Be sure and check it out. It's called Seasons. The next step, what we need to do to fly our hook is we need to make a cut, and we need to cut it somewhere right before the vocal starts. Now, if you went just on the bar, then you've got a little bit before it actually comes in at bar 42. So we don't want to cut that. So what we'll do, or what I tend to do, is go to the next whole count bar. So that would be 41 before anything starts, and just select all of your vocal hook tracks, and then make sure you've got your cut tool or your scissors tool selected, and then just cut it there on that whole note bar. So the reason why we cut it at the whole note is because when we go to move it now, which to duplicate, I'm just going to hold Alt or Option, click, and drag. So now we have a copy. Now what happens is, since we cut it at the whole note, I'm going to be able to place it at a whole note just prior to the hook starting. It's going to be really easy to line it up. So let's just move this over here, and then let's listen to the verse and make sure that we figure out exactly where it's coming in.
Forward, hoping that OnStar is on call.
So again, we've got, remember, an extra bar before it comes in. So it should come in about right here, I do believe.
Hoping that OnStar is on call.
Nope. A little early, so we need to move it over. But again, we're locked into that bar, so that it'll be spot on once we line up the timing.
Hoping that OnStar is on call.
You go ahead and try to take me out, but this wind will never take me out. It's cold up in this winter. I feel like the seasons don't change, yeah. I feel like the seasons don't change, yeah.
So it's spot on to the first one. And again, the reason why we have so little guesswork is we've locked the whole session to grid with our tempo. So that was step one. And then when we select all of our tracks, we're cutting so that the beginning of the regions for the vocal are on a whole bar. So that makes it really easy to place the hook, and you don't have to nudge it or use, any kind of delay or anything to make sure the timing's right. I know, some of you in Pro Tools have had problems where you're having to nudge things. As long as you lock it into the whole count, you should be fine. So anyways, y'all, just a quick tutorial, again, showing you how to fly a hook or duplicate a hook as many times as you need to and make sure that it's spot on timing-wise. Hope this is helpful, and if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below, and we'll talk to you soon.